The Spartans' year number 7 proved a lucky one. As D'Antonio predicted, the chemistry was good, the foundation for success was in place, and the Spartans rose to the occasion. TV6 Sports presents MSU's Run for the Roses as they prepare for the challenge of Stanford in the Rose Bowl's 100th year. Now, from Pasadena, here's TV6 Sports Director Fred Human.
This is the city, Los Angeles, California, a near neighbor of nearby Pasadena. The scenery around here is at times breathtaking, the population overwhelming, the traffic impossible. This is Rose Bowl week. They call this college football spectacle the granddaddy of them all. My name is Human. I'm not a cop, I'm a sportscaster. Good evening, everyone. Live from Pasadena, I am Fred Human, and that opened a spin-off from the old 1960s television hit Dragnet. You old-timers will remember that. And young or old, Spartan fans alike are thrilled to be here in Pasadena for a Rose Bowl for the first time in 26 years. We'll preview the Michigan State-Stanford game, to take you behind the scenes with all the good stuff. Hope you'll stick around and join us. Kevin Gale will be here later in the show, so will Emerald Morrow. You see behind me the scene, the Rose Bowl Stadium in Pasadena, set amidst the San Gabriel Mountains. The sights of this area are, as I said, breathtaking. I've been out here 5 times myself for Rose Bowls, and I'm telling you, I never cease to marvel at the scenery around here. The sights of the San Fernando Valley, the surrounding Rose Bowl Stadium, which has the backdrop of those gorgeous San Gabriel Mountains. In a word, wow. Now, the MSU team has been very busy with activities out here away from the field. After arriving Christmas Day, the first order of events was the following day, Thursday afternoon, spent at Disneyland, chumming it up with Mickey, Goofy, and the gang at the famed amusement park here. Good time had by all. Then on Friday, a tough day of practice was followed up with a police escort to Lowry's in Beverly Hills, the most famous prime rib joint west of the Mississippi, and a red carpet welcome. Then for the team, time to dig into the most delicious cut of prime rib you've ever sunk your teeth into. The Spartans then began on-field workouts here in Pasadena, in the area, on Thursday, the day after they arrived, and they arrived, of course, Christmas afternoon. The team has been working out at a nearby facility, a fabulous facility in Carson, California. Coach Mark D'Antonio had them going hard the first 3 days out here, then tapered off practices yesterday and again today. A walkthrough tomorrow at the Coliseum, not the Rose Bowl, the LA Coliseum. They'll just do a picture pose here and then go to the Coliseum. Then Coach D can let the lion out of the cage, as he likes to say, for the game at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Michigan time, New Year's Day. The Spartan players are more than a little excited about playing in the first Rose Bowl game of their young lives.
It's an amazing feeling, you know, when I first stepped off the plane, you know, just the feeling of being in Cali, you know, to play in the 100th Rose Bowl, you know, it's great. There's a lot of, you know, emotions running through your head. It's great to be in this opportunity with the people I am with. The senior class, you know, I never played with such a great group of people, and to go out like this is, you know, nothing more we can ask for.
One of our goals is to get here, and the next one is to win it. So, I mean, that's always something that we're working towards, and Coach Narduzzi and the rest of the coaching staff is working towards. You know, we don't come here just to say, hey, we made it to the Rose Bowl. We want to come here and be like, hey, we won the Rose Bowl. You know, we were that team that, you know, made it through the conference, won the Big Ten championship, and won the Rose Bowl also.
I'm not nervous. Not nervous at all. I don't think any player in here is nervous. We're ready for the opportunity. It's another stage for us to come out here and to play this game, what we love, and just another opportunity to put Michigan State where we're supposed to be.
I wasn't even alive the last time the Rose Bowl was, so growing up a Spartan fan, you know, my dad and family's always saying, you know, if we ever go back, you know, we're getting tickets to it. So, I mean, that's the closest I've ever heard to going to the Rose Bowl. But to see all the hype around this game, around Lansing, around East Lansing, it's way bigger than I expected it to be.
That's young Mac Maxud. Mark D'Antonio likes to say there are a lot of stories on this football team, and Matt is one of them, from Lansing Catholic High School. Could have played football and played regularly at a lot of smaller schools. Wanted to go to Michigan State, elected to go here. Doesn't play a whole lot, but now he's living his Rose Bowl dream. All right, I'm joined by another man half my age, our own Kevin Gale. He's
Less than half.
Yeah, he's a San Francisco. Don't bring that up. He's a San Francisco native. His flight here was about 25 minutes, I think, and he joins me now to talk about quarterback for Michigan State on a magic carpet ride.
That flight was actually an hour and 20 minutes.
Well, whatever.
To be exact.
It took us 23 hours.
And that included a delay as well, and kind of reminds me of Connor Cook. His magical season was actually delayed at the start because after saving the Spartans bacon in the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl last year, he still had to prove his worth against 3 other quarterbacks this season. But finally, after a humbling experience at Notre Dame, he took over the starting job for good. And ever since then, Connor hasn't looked back.
Through the recruiting process, even when you're in high school and you're getting recruited, they'll send you letters and like, hey, if you come to Michigan State, you can play in the Rose Bowl. You get there, you have banners everywhere, you have posters, P4RB, play for the Rose Bowl. Then you have Coach G saying you will be the ones with roses all around the banners that we have hanging up. And to actually be here talking to you guys, to be here in Los Angeles, being able to play in the Rose Bowl, it's a surreal feeling, and it's such a blessing that I can't even, put words, give words to describe it.
Connor, one of the things I've really noticed is no matter what the ups or downs, you've really stayed kind of at a level position. Is that the way you've always been, or is that something you've learned?
I've always been that way. I've been a humble guy, and I just, try not to let things, outside of football or, if whatever the situations are, if it's good or bad, to let it affect me. As a quarterback, you got to be mentally strong.
But for all the talk about being mentally strong, you've been through a lot, and your life has changed a lot. How is your life different now than it was last year as a backup in Arizona for the Buffalo Wild Wings?
Really, the only thing that's changed is just like this. Last year I wasn't doing the media. I wasn't talking to you guys. People wouldn't really recognize me at school and stuff. And I know after the Ohio State game, I went to go return my books, and a lot of people want to get pictures and stuff. So really, pretty much just the whole media and then people just recognizing me. That's pretty much the only thing that's changed.
Quarterback Connor Cook.
Does that show you how fickle success can be? Is that when you're on top, everybody wants a piece, and people are showing you love on the internet and in the media, and then things can change so quickly? It must be kind of an interesting roller coaster.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it always is, no matter what you're doing, if you're playing basketball, football, whatever. But I think Spartan Nation is true, though. I think no matter who you are, if you're on the football team, if you're a starter, if not, guys, appreciate you. The fans appreciate you. But I think it just comes with the territory.
And for all the talk about Connor Cook being a caretaker quarterback or simply a product of the best defense in America, don't forget this very important fact. Michigan State in 2013 is the first team ever to finish the Big Ten regular season 8-0 while beating every single opponent by 10 points or more. No matter how you slice that, Fred, the Spartans have been dominant, and Connor Cook was at the helm.
And quite a year for that young man. Thanks
for magic carpet
ride. Thanks for sharing that story. Kevin will join us more later. When we come back, we'll visit by far the top story of the week out here in Pasadena, and it happened the day the Spartans left for California. The player who is missing from this Rose Bowl, Max Bullough. We'll get some insight on what Max is going through from his brother and Spartan teammate Riley Bullough. That's up next when we return to Pasadena with a Run for the Roses. Stay with us.
MSU's Run for the Roses is brought to you by SBS, the student bookstore, home of the Green and White Shop. Church Weibel, know your rights, let us protect them. Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people. And by 1-800-HANSONS, keeping down the cost of keeping up your home.
1954, Pasadena. The Rose Bowl saw UCLA take a 14-0 lead over Michigan State. Then Ellis Duckett blocked a Bruin punt, scooped it up, returned it 6 yards for a score to cut into the lead. Spartan fans well represented in California, and then they watched Leroy Bolden bust into the end zone from a yard out to tie the game 14-14. Fourth quarter, the backbreaker for the Bruins. Billy Wells, who had already scored 1 touchdown in the game, returned a UCLA punt 62 yards using a dipsy-doodle cutback to spring loose. And the third-ranked Spartans, quarterbacked by Earl Morrill, scored a 28-20 victory over UCLA in Biggie Munn's last game as the MSU head coach. Biggie Munn stepped down after that game to take over as athletic director. He succeeded Ralph Young, who retired. And one of Biggie's first moves was to name Duffy Doherty as one of his assistants. What a move that turned out to be for Michigan State's history. All right, one of the big stories out here, the biggest story out here, is the suspension of Max Bullough, the Spartan leader and linebacker who did not make the trip to California. Suspended for the game. His career is over. Shocking news, really, for a guy who was the leader on defense, the face of this program, and part of a third generation of the Bullough family to wear the green and white. There have been 100 rumors about what Bullough did. We're not going to speculate. We know that he's not here, won't play. Not many comments have been made from anyone in the Spartan family, but Max's brother, Riley Bullough, shared this with me yesterday. How much do you hurt for him?
You know, I hurt for him a lot. You know, he's disappointed. We're disappointed. You know, he wants to be here as much as anybody. You know, it's the biggest game, you know, any of us have ever played in. So, you know, he's disappointed, but at the same time, he's moved past it. He's moving forward. You know, he's staying positive.
I read some of the tweets that he sent to you guys. Guys, it's not about me. Go play this game like you would.
Yes, sir. You know, that's how he is. You know, he's a competitive guy. He wants to win. Even if he's not playing, obviously, he wants to win. He wants us. You know, we've worked hard to get here. You know, he's worked hard. And, you know, so, you know, I think it would set him right, you know, to leave him with a victory.
All right, Max Bullough has been in touch with Riley and, of course, many of his teammates every day out here in Pasadena. He wants them to play for themselves, not for him. Kevin Gale joins me again to talk about who stands to benefit most from Max's absence.
Next man up, right?
Yeah, there you go.
One Spartan falls, another stands tall, and this time it's Kyler Ellsworth. He's a fifth-year senior with only 69 career tackles, but today Mark D'Antonio called on Ellsworth to make the biggest start of his life right here at the Rose Bowl. Not bad for a kid that first walked onto this team as a 185-pound wrestler.
Yeah, coming out of high school, I was number one in my weight class. I was number one in my weight class at state, and like number 4 in the nation or something. I had full rides, you know, Michigan State and a couple other colleges around the nation, but you know, my first love, you know, was football. And I'll be the first to tell you, I was definitely better at wrestling. But I said if I got an opportunity to play football, you know, I couldn't pass that up. You know, one of the toughest decisions I made was, you know, turning down the money to walk on and have my dad help me pay for college. So after sitting down with Coach D, you know, I really knew this is where I wanted to come after, you know, he preached to me, you know, the best guy will play. You know, didn't really feed me any lies, you know, told me straight up. You know, after I got that scholarship, you know, I really wanted to get that for my dad. I wanted to get it for myself to prove that, you know, I can play at this level. And after I did that, you know, it's been great. I haven't looked back since. You know, people always ask me, do you miss wrestling? And you know, I miss the aspect of, you know, competing one-on-one, but I don't miss as much as I would miss football. If I'd have wrestled and not played football, you know, I'd be looking on TV right now watching, going, man, this could be my opportunity. What could have been. And so, you know, I've been happy and excited with, you know, the decision that I made, and, you know, I haven't looked back once.
And Kyler wasn't just a good wrestler. He was great. He actually won back-to-back state titles at Goodrich High School. He had a perfect 67-0 record as a senior, and he actually joked with me yesterday, Fred, he might still be a better wrestler than a football player. Not bad for a guy who's going to start here at the Rose Bowl, but there's no question about his toughness.
And they're glad he's here. Thanks for that, Kevin. You're not done working yet. Stand by. We still have this Stanford football team to address, and speaking of Stanford, the Stanford Cardinal are here by virtue of winning the Pac-10 championship game over Arizona State a couple of weeks ago. Cardinal are 11-2. They're coached by David Shaw. I found out I went to the same high school as David Shaw. You see, he's younger than I am, so you know, it's at different times. That's where our chat started. I actually graduated from Rochester Adams, and I've been told you played a year there, right?
I was there honestly for 3 years.
Really?
Yep.
Your dad was a coach with the Lions.
He was with the Lions. I left at the end of my junior year.
What's this Michigan State team pose in a challenge for you?
It starts with their defense. Very physical, very fast, very athletic. It looks like they don't do a lot of things until you watch them, and you see a lot of nuances that they're very good at. And then, like us on offense, they're a physical running football team. They got a very good running back that breaks tackles, and have receivers that can make big plays down the field.
Do they resemble anybody in your conference?
Yes, us. Absolutely.
Yeah. We both joked that we went to high school at Rochester Adams with a much more famous graduate. That would be Madonna. Oh, well, when we come back, we will talk to one Spartan player who's been California dreaming for some time now. He's a native of here in Cali. Fofinotti, Kevin Gale with an entertaining chat with the MSU offensive linemen, fellow Californians, chatting it up when the Run to the Roses continues.
Now it's third down, just 7 seconds, and Dave Kaiser boots one from the 31-yard line, a 41-yard field goal, and the Spartans go into a 3-point lead with 7 seconds to go in this ball game, 17-14. With 7 seconds to go, there wasn't too much that UCLA could do. The Spartans will kick off. However, before the kickoff got underway, the goalpost came down on the north end of the field. The Spartans try an onside kick, and they fall on the ball, getting possession on the last play of the ball game as the clock expires and the game is over. And everybody rushes out on the field to congratulate the Michigan State Spartans, who have won their second Rose Bowl game in 3 years, both over UCLA, and the final score in the 1956 bowl game, Michigan State 17, UCLA 14.
From the archives, part of the fabulous, glorious 50s for Michigan State. Michigan State doesn't do a lot of recruiting out here in California. Kevin Gale, who is from here, ran into one guy they nabbed a couple of years ago, and he's the happiest guy among this team, isn't he, Kevin?
Well, before we get into this, you all should know, Fred always picks on me from being from California. Why do you do that?
Well, because you're Californians. You're not Midwesterners. I mean,
you always say we're
the
different,
people.
right? He always says we're different, but if you're really looking for a guy that represents the California spirit, look no further than 300-pound Samoan Fofinotti. Yes, he's the only Spartan born and raised right here in Southern California. And despite being a senior, he's still trying to set his teammates straight on what life is like here in the Golden State while introducing his family to the pageantry of Big Ten college football.
They're excited. A lot of them don't even know what tailgating is. And then so, some people who's been to a game will break it down to them. They're like, oh, my God. Oh, they start when? Oh, man, that's exciting. But I know everyone's excited. I got to make sure I get some T-shirts. Everyone wants to, oh, can you bring me some Spartan gear? I want to rep with Spartan Nation. And, I just know that I might have my own student section out there.
What about the other guys on this team? What have they seen on TV about California that makes you think, boy, you guys are way off base?
I've gotten a lot of times, like, do you see a lot of celebrities? No, I don't. And they say, what do you do for fun? They see the movies and they think, oh my gosh, people's over there at Venice Beach. I don't do any of that. I kind of just chill at my house, in my garage with my brothers, eat candy. I should probably stop doing that. Walk to 7-Eleven with a Slurpee. Go get a haircut, hang out with my grandpa, hang out with my girlfriend. Definitely go to In-N-Out. But a lot of guys like, do you see celebrities? Do you go on Rodeo Drive? No. But just hearing that excitement, I'm definitely excited for these guys just to go out there and experience it.
Yeah, most of Fo's plans revolve around food, and even though he told his teammates you won't see any celebrities out there, MSU cornerback Darqueze Dennard said he did see rapper Wiz Khalifa. You're a big fan of Wiz Khalifa, right?
Yeah, who is Wiz?
I'll burn you a CD. Yeah. You can put it in your car. Okay. They also saw ESPN's Stephen A. Smith, who I don't really think is a celebrity, but they think he's excited about it.
Yeah. All right, Kevin, thanks for that. There's a Michigan connection on this Stanford team, specifically a Detroit Lions connection. His name is Sanders. In fact, his name is Barry Sanders. How about Barry Sanders Jr.? Yes, the son of the Lions' great running back, wears number 26. I covered his dad's whole NFL career while working in Detroit. Barry used to bring 2-year-old BJ to practice in the old Pontiac Silverdome, and Barry will be here for the game Wednesday to watch his son run against the Spartans. I caught up with Stanford's Barry Sanders this week about playing in the shadow of the greatest of them all. What's it like being Barry's kid?
It's just like any other, father-son relationship, but, just a little bit more perks. He's a great role model, definitely very family-oriented, and so, he's taught me a lot.
I see you don't wear number 20. I don't know if that's by design.
Absolutely. I mean, I wasn't, doing it purposely just, to not wear 20, but, I don't think 20 looks as good as me as it did on him, and so, I just wanted to find a number that, fit me well.
I have a compilation of Barry runs. Do you have a favorite Barry run?
Yeah, there's a lot. Maybe the one against, the Patriots where he made the guy do a full circle. But then, you had the one against the Bears where, he looked like he was getting tripped up and he ran down the sideline. But yeah, those two, stick out.
And if you didn't catch it, the guy he faked out for the Patriots in that run was current Spartan assistant coach Arlen Barnett, then of the Patriots. Okay, Mark D'Antonio has coached in the Rose Bowl once as an assistant to Jim Tressel with Ohio State. So I figured it was really his only previous trip to the Rose Bowl, but I was mistaken.
Well, I went there in May. This past May I went there.
For
a while. Just for a while.
On a vacation?
I was out there and I forget what, I was out there for an alumni event and we were staying down about 2 hours south of there. So we took the trip to the Rose Bowl. I wanted to be there, I wanted to walk in there, I wanted to see and feel what it was going to be like to be there. And, they stop you at the gate and they're not letting you in. They are not letting you in. So we had to get special permission, got that arranged. They took us onto the field and, walked around and videoed a real quick message to our football team. And
hey guys, welcome to the Rose Bowl. Had an opportunity to come out here in late May and just walk on the field a little bit. This is where we make it happen. So January 1st of this year or 2014 as we get into it, it'll be our time. It will be our time. And as I said at the banquet, you will be the ones.
Other than that, yeah, that's the only time I've been there.
Pretty poetic. You will be the ones. He told them that at the banquet, and they indeed are. How cool is that? And how cool is it that we'll be joined by the man who last took Michigan State to the Rose Bowl as a coach, George Perles. That was 26 years ago. Here in Pasadena, the Perles memories up next on Run for the Roses. Stay with us.
There was a definite green and white flavor in the crowd of more than 100,000 as Michigan State makes its first appearance in the Rose Bowl since 1966. When McAllister hooks up with split-end Andre Rison for the bomb. The junior from Flint makes a spectacular over-the-shoulder catch for 55 yards and a first and goal on the Southern Cal 7-yard line. 2 plays later, Lorenzo takes it through a gaping hole on the left side, and the Spartans open up a 14-3 halftime lead.
To break the tie from 36, Langloh. Michigan State leads.
Perhaps for Rodney Peete to take a shot deep here. Nope, they fouled the ball.
Who's got it? Michigan State. The Big Ten has come to Pasadena and will go home
a winner. George Perles coached that Spartan team in the 1988 Rose Bowl 26 years ago. Who would have ever believed it would have taken that long to get back? We reminisced with Perles about that memory 26 years ago, and even he admitted he never would have guessed it would have taken this long to get back.
And all the fans, I've met lots of them that said, God, we were going to go to the next one. We couldn't make this one. We were going to go to the next one. And the next one now, it took 26 years. So you can bet there'll be a lot of people there that are not going to let that happen again.
Besides, if they wait 26 years, you might not be around for the next one, right?
That's what I told you. I talked to the team the other day at practice, Michigan State's team, and I looked at them all there. I said, guys, last time we won the Rose Bowl, none of you were born. None of you. And that's how long it's been. 26 years is a long time. I'm going to really enjoy this Rose Bowl, though, watching everybody enjoying themselves, looking at all the things we couldn't do when we were as a team. But this is going to be a fun trip.
The Big Ten has come to Pasadena and will go home a winner.
Is that your legacy at Michigan State, George? The Rose Bowl?
Yeah. I would say so. I've been around here now. I was a student here for 4 years undergraduate, 1 year graduate, then back here with Duffy for 5 years as assistant. Then I left for the Steelers for 10 years and back here as a head coach for 12. So I've got a lot of my life right around Michigan State.
What do you remember about the game, George?
Well, I remember it was a tight game, and you know something, Fred, you might say we were conservative. You might say that we ran the ball a whole lot. Fact is, we threw the ball 7 times, and 4 too many, but we threw it 7 times. We ran it every down, toss 38, toss 39. I figured if it worked on that side, well, we might as well run the same thing the other side.
Do you remember the end of the Rose Bowl and the kind of feeling you had, George?
Yeah, I remember the Rose Bowl. I've seen it on film. A lot of it, for some reason, the cameras were in the locker room after the game. And it was really a joyous celebration there. The kids were all fired up.
Go right through for MSU. Watch the boys keep growing. Spartan teams are about to win. They're fighting with a big power. See their team is repenting. We're gonna win this game. Fight, 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 team fight. Victory for MSU.
None of us knew how important it was later on in years. That was something that they'll always remember. I'll always remember it.
You did it. It doesn't matter if you win by 1 point, 3 points, 30 points, 100 points. A victory is a victory. Yeah!
That locker room was unbelievable. The enthusiasm that was running around that locker room.
Next one up is Rutgers.
I don't think I've ever seen you happier than in that locker room.
It's a big deal because I always thought of Biggie and Duffy, all the things they accomplished, and now we're in a game that they would be proud to have us in. I thought the world of Biggie and Duffy, and I remember them often.
George speaks with great reverence about those 2 men, in particular Duffy Daugherty, the man he calls the Irishman. Ironically enough, Duffy's memorial service was the very day Michigan State beat Indiana in November of 1987 to clinch a trip to the Rose Bowl. George told me that he looked up into the sky after that game and said Duffy must have had something to do with it. With that, we bring back Kevin Gale to talk about a current Spartan from Lansing, also playing with a heavy heart this week, right, Kevin?
It's been an emotional senior season for Micaiah Reynolds, Fred. Back in August, he actually played Good Samaritan when he pulled over to the side of the road to help an 18-year-old man who had been shot. That young man later survived thanks to Micaiah's help, but unfortunately just days ago, Micaiah's grandfather passed away, and because he's here in Pasadena with the Spartans, Micaiah was unable to make the trip home to attend the funeral.
I mean, of course it was disappointing, me being one of the only people that couldn't attend and everything, but, you know, they did a little video tribute to him, and I was able to say a few words without actually being there. So, you know, it was good to know that I had the support of my family and everything there, and, you know, I was there in spirit.
Mark D'Antonio puts roses all over the facility. What's it like to actually be here?
It's been an experience that I'm really taking in, but I don't think it'll really sink in until I'm already gone. And as much as I would, you know, love to be able to say that I got the full-fledged everything, you know, while I was here, I'm sure I won't be able to really soak it all in until I'm back home. But you know, it's been, you know, honestly a dream. You know, you dream about the games like this and on a stage like this when you're a little kid and everything, and you know, the fact that we're here now is just the culmination of all your hard work, all the fruits of your labor coming to pass.
And to be a kid from Lansing Sexton, to go with the hometown college to the Rose Bowl for the first time since 1988, you can't write a better script than that.
You know, maybe I'll write a script. Who knows? You know, but you know, it's great. You know, to be able to start and finish in Lansing, and you know, being so close to choosing other schools and stuff like that. And, you know, I never really would have thought, you know, when I was a freshman in high school that I would end up going to state. I always thought I was going to go out of state, but, you know, I'm here. I'm blessed to be able to be here, and, you know, it's just a great opportunity.
Micaiah's life really has played like a movie script recently, but Fred, the ending is still unwritten. And I'm sure a Rose Bowl would be a perfect way to cap off this storybook tale.
God rest the soul of Micaiah's grandfather. I'm sure he will be with Cajun spirit on Wednesday. All right, when Run to the Roses comes back, we reminisce a little more. We go back to 1966 and a couple of Spartans from that team who are here in Pasadena. Gene Washington and Clint Jones. We'll reminisce when Run for the Roses continues. Stay with us.
If you or a loved one have been seriously injured in an auto, truck, or motorcycle accident, or as a result of a mistake made by a doctor, hospital, or pharmacy, let Church Weibel's trained staff and lawyers help you. Just Google Church Weibel for help, or join us on Facebook to learn more about our law firm. Our record speaks for itself, and we hold those at fault accountable. Of course, you can still reach us at our website, churchweibel.com, or find us in the yellow pages. Know your rights. Let us protect them. Church Weibel.
CareerQuest students are good hires for us because they have a good, strong basis of the skills needed to do that job.
They're coming to me with already feet on the ground experience.
I would say definitely look to CareerQuest.
If you're dreaming of a better job and a brighter future, CareerQuest can help you turn your dream into a rewarding new career. Change your life. Call CareerQuest today. New programs start every 6 weeks.
It's the year-end countdown at Kia of Lansing and Kia of Jackson, and everybody's going to get $2,000 guaranteed cash for their trade-in. Plus, I'm going to knock up to $7,000 off the MSRP of my brand new 2014 Kia Sorento, and I'm going to make it so your real deal monthly payment is $300 per month or less, because I want to see ya in a Kia.
Team spirit, faceplate, more cowbell. Dean Trailways Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
The Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. It's the 77th annual event, matching the Michigan State Spartans versus the UCLA Bruins. January 1st, 1966. Now Clinton Jones gets off with a great run here at 26 yards, almost being hemmed in. He jitterbugs and dances inside and out, back pedals. The junior from Ohio shows why he is an All-American. Clinton Jones. Jimmy Ray is in there at quarterback, number 16. Finally pitches back to Bob Apisa. The sophomore fullback is off and running. He goes right down the sideline for a touchdown for Michigan State. And the Spartans are back in the ball game, 14-6. Number 16, he tries to roll out right. Can't find running room. Gives to Apisa, the fullback, and Bob is caught a yard short. The UCLA Bruins have done what nobody thought they could do, upset the #1 team in the country, the Michigan State Spartans. They do it 14-12.
The 1966 Rose Bowl. The UCLA quarterback was a sophomore by the name of Gary Beban. 2 years later, he would go on to win the Heisman Trophy. Two members of that Spartan team that lost that day in town this week. Their names, Gene Washington, the wide receiver, and Clinton Jones, the running back, and neither one has stopped smiling all week long.
Oh, this is my first Rose Bowl.
Really?
48 years.
Really?
1966.
Yeah, what are your memories?
Well, the memories, hey, great time.
What kept the team together? What was the glue of that team?
Well, our defense. We had a hell of a defense. Webster and Bubba and Charles Thornhills, and just great guys.
And D'Antonio has done okay here, hasn't he?
Coach D is he's just fantastic. I mean, he's just a great guy and a great coach and great staff, and just super having him join the Spartans.
What do you remember about the 66 Rose Bowl?
Well, I have my email is CJ66 Rose Bowl, so it's always in my memory. And but what I remember that it was kind of like the payoff for our championship we had in 1965, and it was a fun time. My whole family came out here from Cleveland. But we lost.
Stings a little.
Yeah, stings a little bit, yeah.
Who's going to win this game, Gene?
Of course we're going to win. Hey, Stanford is a great team, great program, and they've done very, very well, and we've done very well too. So it's going to be a hell of a battle, but of course I got a favor of my Spartans, you know that.
Who's going to win this game?
Michigan State, of course. Yeah, have no doubt about it. Yeah, they're going to win.
Of course they're going to pick Michigan State. Former Spartans coming in a lot this week. Kirk Gibson checked in this morning. Magic Johnson comes in tonight. So does Kirk Cousins. He's the honorary captain of this game. And Cousins has to be awfully proud of the man who replaced him at quarterback, Andrew Maxwell, the starter for Michigan State last season. Lost his job this year when Connor Cook was promoted to the starter. Maxwell has not made any public comment all year about his status of the demotion until yesterday.
Is this bittersweet for you at all?
I think it's sweet.
Not sweet, but is it bittersweet?
I mean, I think the sweet outweighs the bitter. I mean, this is the Rose Bowl. This is what I signed my letter of intent to be at. When you're 6 years old and you watch TV on New Year's Day, well, you watch the Rose Bowl. So we're here, and so I think the sweet outweighs any bitter that there is.
You don't feel anything was snatched from you?
No, I really don't. I mean, I came to go to the Rose Bowl, and we're at the Rose Bowl, so far be it from me to complain and add an asterisk on to the end.
Part of being a leader, too, now that you're a senior?
Yeah, and you know, I think this is too important to this program. This is too important to this team for me to kind of downplay it, for me to take anything away from it, because maybe it didn't work out personally how I envisioned it. Is it more important to kind of have that fire and wish you were out there? Or is it more important to be a good teammate and make sure this team reaches its goals? And so right now, that's come down to being a good teammate and making sure this team is as successful as it needs to be to win the game. The goal of this season wasn't to pick a starting quarterback. We don't go through winter condition and we don't go through spring ball so this team can pick a starting quarterback. We do all those things to get here. The reason I kind of took a step back was because I didn't want anything detracting away from our team's goals. I didn't want anything detracting away from our team's focus. I didn't want the starting quarterback position to be the story. I wanted the story to be what's Michigan State doing to get to the Rose Bowl.
What a great attitude by Andrew Maxwell, and very sincere. D'Antonio was quick to point out he's part of the reason Michigan State is here, because if Maxwell had chosen to sulk rather than be all in, this team could have gone south. I'm guessing, as D'Antonio is, that Andrew Maxwell will go a long way in life beyond football. Okay, when we come back, our colleague Audrey Dahlgren jumps into the fray here, the Rose Bowl fray. She chatted with Athletic Director Mark Hollis on his obsession with the Rose Bowl and with Disney. That's up next on Run for the Roses.
There's no question that our commitment to football is a priority. And on my part, there will be no rest until it is the norm for the football season to open and anticipate that the season will end with the paint of roses on our cleats.
Those the poignant words of Athletic Director Mark Hollis upon being named as Michigan State's Athletic Director 7 years ago. He would assume the role in January of 2008, and that vow to rest, not to rest until the paint of roses are on our cleats, a very prophetic statement. Now, as we look back, the Rose Bowl, an obsession really to Hollis. He was nearly in tears today, earlier, talking about what it's like to be out here. We bring in Audrey Dahlgren back in studio. She spent some time with Hollis about his Rose Bowl obsession and what he did to get ready for this. Audrey, I'd say obsession is not overstating it, is it?
Absolutely not, Fred. January 1st is a significant day for Michigan State athletics. Not only are the Spartans making their first appearance in the Rose Bowl game since 1988, but as you said, New Year's Day will be Mark Hollis' 7th year anniversary as Michigan State's athletic director. And on January 1st, 2008, the Run for the Roses began. And it all started with one rose in Hollis' office. You'd never guess a single rose could hold so much significance.
The first one I put up was right above my door. It was next to Duffy and the whistle, and it was an opportunity that as I went out the door, you kind of look up, constant reminder.
For Michigan State Athletic Director Mark Hollis, a single rose is symbolic to who he's working for.
Once I put that up, I started to go around the office, and I went to my little workstation here, and you know, you'll see one when I'm working at the computer up above it. You'll see one on the computer. I have one up behind on the credenza that's hidden back in the deep corner back there.
Okay, there it is now. I couldn't see it at first.
It's kind of like Where's Waldo?
Hollis has 11 roses strategically placed throughout his office for the number of schools that were in the Big Ten Conference when he accepted the position.
We got one up here, one here. One on this window over here where I sit and look out at Old College Field quite often. So TV's on quite often. We have one on the television, and that's all I can find right now.
The rose has a special significance to Michigan State and Spartan football.
You know, I grew up in the state of Michigan, and it was always the game that you watched as a child. Coach D grew up in Ohio, and I think probably carries much the same importance with him. But for us, this is the game. This is the game you want to be in. It symbolizes championships.
Hollis couldn't be happier to have the Spartans in the 100th edition of the game.
It's outstanding for the game to have two champions from the Pac-12 and the Big Ten play in this game, where there are scenarios where that maybe wouldn't happen. But it's great that they're champions that played their way in, achieved excellence within their conferences, and are part of the greatest spectacular in college football.
It's why he's placed 11 roses around his office, in hopes one day Michigan State would return back to the Rose Bowl.
I put subtle reminders around more to remind myself, because there are so many distractions in this business. There's so many different constituents, different variables that can pull you in different directions. And for me, just to keep my simple mind focused in a positive direction, I put little clues like that up that, you know, remember why you're here, remember what you're working for, remember it's about the student athletes first, it's about your coaches, it's about the people that have been here before us, and how you can move forward. And that's what these little clues do for me, is kind of mark that symbolic importance of direction.
As you know, Fred, the Spartans have had their fair share of adversity this season, but have also learned to handle success, which is what makes Hollis so proud. And you could have a very happy athletic director after Wednesday's game.
All right, Audrey, thanks for sharing that. And Hollis said today he expects more than 40, maybe 50,000 Spartan fans to be in this stadium behind me. I brought in Emerald Morrow from our news department just because I look so much better in front of the Rose Bowl with her standing next to me. And you've been tasting the flavor of it all, haven't you, this week, haven't you?
I have, and I've been having a great time. I've been hard at work, Fred. I know you've been hard at work. The football team has been hard at work, but so has the Spartan marching band. And they know for sure, they're one group that knows that practice makes perfect. And they are working hard to make sure they put on a good show for you on Wednesday.
The Rose Bowl is the iconic Big Ten football goal. You know, our band has such a strong tradition, and we sort of have revered those people from the past that have had the privilege of being able to go to the Rose Bowl. But it is something that we all dream of out east, and coming out here, and you know, it'll bring out the best in the students.
The excitement is just overwhelming, and it's even surreal that we're even here and in California to begin with. It's really a dream come true, and the history of the marching band, the university, is so important to us as a band too, and we really live rich in the traditions of the university, the football team, and the band itself. So the Rose Bowl is really something we're always striving for and always rooting for our team to get to.
Band is just excited. If you've talked to John Madden, he's waited 25 years for this, because he came the year after we went. So he's never had the Rose Bowl experience.
I've been the band director at Michigan State for 25 years. I think we were in the Rose Bowl 26 years ago. So I was thinking I was the curse, but that's now lifted.
Our band really knows how to keep up the intensity, really work hard when we need to and when it's down to the wire. So we're really trying to push it out these last few days and really get everything ready and finalized. But I think we're going to be ready, and the band's awesome, and our intensity and energy is so high, it's going to be great.
The Rose Bowl, I think, for Michigan State will always be the most special bowl.
And it's one bowl that they're just so excited about, and, you know, I'm excited to see what they come up with on Wednesday.
All right, thanks for sharing that. I know you were up late doing that last night. I appreciate it. Get some sleep tonight, will you?
We will try.
All right, we'll come back with more here on our live special Run for the Roses. I'm always telling our photographers on the road, show me the city. Dave Parks, our chief photographer. Will you show me the mountains? The San Gabriel Mountains. Run for the Roses continues in a moment. I don't care if I ever get back. Isn't it gorgeous? Stay with us.
Go
right through for MSU. Watch the points keep growing. Spartan teams are bound to win. They're fighting with the vim. Rah, rah, rah. See, their line is weakening. We're gonna win this game. Fight, 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 team, fight. Victory for MSU.
How about that? Former Michigan State coach Duffy Daugherty, who led the Spartans here to the Rose Bowl in 1966, singing the fight song to his team. A moment from the video treasure chest at 6 Sports. Man, was that kind of fun. All right, now let's talk about the current coach, Mark Dantonio. He was scheduled to appear at a photo op today along with Stanford coach David Shaw. But David Shaw was like a half hour late, so Dantonio was left there with the Rose Bowl trophy to pose alone. Kind of an awkward moment for the coach, as he said later. We'll see it here now. Dantonio posing with the Rose Bowl trophy, and then, you know, just saying, hey, this really isn't right for me to be here alone, but I had a chance to speak to the coach about what this week has been like so far. How do you separate living the dream out here from the focus and getting ready for a game you want to win?
I think that's the part that I keep talking about. You got to be able to handle success. You know, handle adversity certainly when things don't go quite as well as you want, but you also have to be able to handle the success that you've had, be able to keep it in check, regather yourself every day and go out and practice. You got to focus, you got to have great team meetings, then you got to be fresh. I think you got to be fresh playing this football game.
It's been busy for you, you said. Has it been harder to avoid the coaching distractions than in any other bowl game you've been in?
No, it's been pretty clean. You know, we get up and we're on California time, so we're up pretty early, and we do our thing and go to practice, and there's an event, and you know, tonight there's no event, so that'll be nice, and you'll be able to, families coming in, and so just like everybody else, a lot of Spartans are coming into town, a lot of our players have family coming, so I think it's a time of celebration. We need to savor the moment, make it a life moment for all of us, but at the same time, we understand that we got a job to do on Wednesday at noon, or 2 o'clock.
Do you sense your players are really getting a kick out of this?
Yeah, our players are having a good time, but we've always had a good time, you know, with our, whenever we've gone to a bowl game, we've always had a good experience, and you know, the people at the bowl games make that experience unique for all of our guys. But you know, the Rose Bowl is special because you're at the top of the heap, really. You're at the top, and you know, as I said earlier, we didn't come in the back door here. We walked in the front. We won the Big Ten championship, so we walk in the front door with that behind us, so that's a positive.
Your names for trick plays have gotten a lot of attention. I was thinking, how about Rosebud?
Well, that would be yours. I don't know.
I don't think Coach D will take my suggestion. This is my 5th Rose Bowl. I've never seen a team so excited to be here than this Michigan State team. That's our show for tonight. More at 11. Kevin Gale joins me. Thanks all for looking in. That's our Run for the Roses.
MSU's Run for the Roses has been brought to you by SBS, the Student Bookstore, home of the Green and White Shop. Church Weibel, know your rights. Let us protect them. Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people. And by 1-800-HANSON's, keeping down the cost of keeping up your home. This has been an exclusive presentation of WLNS TV6 Sports.